Hello, friends. This is another episode of the program Empire of Lies, in which we talk about manipulation and disinformation of the Russian media. Europe in the crosshairs of someone else's rhetoric. Today's episode of 60 Minutes by Olga Skabeeva showed again, Russia is not so much analysing reality as trying to rewrite it. The topic of drones that flew into Poland became key. In the studio, it was presented as Warsaw's hysteria and NATO's escalation. And Donald Trump, according to the broadcast, allegedly shocked the Allies by offering an ultimatum. Europe must completely refuse Russian oil, otherwise there will be no sanctions. On the one hand, we hear the usual set of mantras. Sanctions do not work. Ukraine is to blame. Europe is tired of war. On the other hand, a new twist is noticeable. The emphasis is on the fact that it is Europe that must pay the price, cut off energy flows, impose duties on India and China, and get involved in the war to the end. Manipulation number one. Negotiations are possible, but propaganda readily quotes Trump. The meeting between Putin and Zelensky will take place relatively soon. But then it throws in a condition, only if Europe stops buying Russian oil. This is a classic technique. First show hope, then turn it into an instrument of pressure. It is important for the European reader to understand, Moscow does not strive for peace at all. It is using the topic of negotiations as a smokescreen. Trump literally shocked his allies with his ultimatum. He will impose sanctions against Russia when and if Europe completely cuts off the flow of Russian oil. But as the New York Times writes, this demand looks more like a political game. Key buyers in the form of the same Turkey, Hungary, whose leaders Trump himself admires, do not think of giving up cheap Russian energy. The US Congress, in their connection a real storm, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, known for her Russophobic views, demands to strike not at Russia, but at its partners, at all Brexit countries without exception. Graham calls for monstrous tariffs of 50 or even 100%, stating that sanctions against Putin himself do not work. He does not care about them. So someone else needs to be punished. All the details in our story. You know, I stopped 7 wars. I thought that stopping the conflict in Ukraine would be easy, but it turned out to be difficult.